I do. I still can't get over Zoom homegirl.
I don't believe.
I don't like the way she tells me that it's recording. All right. Hey girl, welcome back to What's the Word of One. It's been some months since we've had a time to chat, but we got a lot to cover. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, first things first, life has just been lifing. You know what I mean? And, sometimes it just comes out of the blue. You don't know. You have your good days, you have your bad days, but you fight.
And we're fighting.
So in celebrating that of, being strong and fighting against, I don't know, society, defending
all the pressures that are down on us, mental pressures, social pressures, societal pressures, all of it. Rebelling against all of it.
Exactly. I just want to take some time to remind people we are in Black August again. Mm-hmm. And it's also my birthday month. So
yeah, just Leos, a lot of y'all out here.
But yeah, so if you guys are dedicated listeners and you've been here with us, since forever, but mostly since the pandemic, because we mentioned this last year, that Black August is just a federally recognized celebration to reflect on how we shaped the United States. It's a month for us to reflect and study on action to promote Black liberation. It started in the 70s by a Black Panther named George Jackson, who was killed while he was in San Quentin State Prison. He was in there for allegedly stealing $70. They say that he was neglected from the guards, and there's something that happened in the yard. They shot him up. His brother heard about it, and there was a huge riot. So, let's just take some time to really think about the past and how that is trickling into the future, into the present.
I think it also makes me think so much about our brothers and sisters in prison right now, dealing with this virus and how we are constantly complaining about little things like wearing masks and, not going to super crowded places, where we were just talking right before we started recording how I am still nervous to go out, especially out. I still just do outdoor dining. That's my version of out now. And the thought of us being back inside is kind of a possibility. And it's scary to think that we all might be cooped up again. And it just is really making me think of just the brothers and sisters that are, locked up for small ass offenses like fucking allegedly stealing $70. Like, come on, that's nothing. When, there's white folks that have white collar crime, so they're stealing, billions of dollars, and they barely see a day in prison. So, and if they do, yeah, and if they do go prison, they get like the cute prison. They get like, the Martha Stewart prison,
like the rehabs.
Yeah. I know I'm going off on a tangent right now, and it is about, rebelling and coming out, but I just wanted to say, like, I care about, our POC that are still stuck over white supremacy taking over, and slavery is like just by another name, prison.
Honestly, here's the thing. I'm like exhausted talking about it, and like because we know we can talk about it for hours, you know what I mean? But it is important to at least recognize it and understand that we know, and if you know, then and that's what it is, you know what I mean? Like, I know I didn't say much, but it's just like this is an opportunity that we can go down the list of all the names of all of our brothers and sisters who have lost their lives over little things, you know what I mean? And what started this whole, the whole Black Lives Matter movement and everything. But it's good to understand where you came from and where you about to go. You know what I mean? And with that being said, going somewhere. No, that was a horrible transition.
Segue.
But wait, what? Oh, well,
I didn't know where you're going with this segue. I can't even help.
I know. I lost it.
How is she connecting? What's next? Are we going on to the next topic, or?
I lost my touch, man.
It's been a little. We'll get back.
Man, I gotta stretch.
We gotta stretch it out.
But I guess, I don't know. Where do you want to go? Should we go?
I think it's important to also say that the Black August is not just about this one event that happened in the 70s, what allowed for folks to see, systemic racism within the prison industrial complex. But also it was, a series of events coming from as early as the Haitian Revolution. And I think it's also important to think and check in on our Haitian brothers and sisters for the last, month. See, I'm getting there. Just a month ago or so, their president was assassinated. And I'll use president lightly because a lot of them, some folks use the word dictator. It's very the political relationship he has had with his people is difficult to talk about. So I'm not quite sure where I'm going with this, but the point is that, the Haitian Revolution started with, the first Black free nation. And from there, you can think about Nat Turner's revolution and rebellion and, Fred Hampton coming to be and, George Jackson's death, obviously, as we're talking about, but then Huey P. Newton's death. And there's so many great men and women that have fought during this time. And this month is just another way for us to be prideful about where we came from, because, we're always prideful. And that's where that comes from. And to segue into continuing with rebellion, let's talk about our athletic sisters.
Oh, yes.
Doing their thing.
I did put the question here: is Simone and Naomi rebelling? Now, I feel like in their own way, I do feel like they are kind of fighting against what the world has put them on. And some people will give them their kudos and some people won't. I, for one, especially having had this time, like I said, life is lifing. Like, I could only imagine how it can be being a three gold medalist or fourth gold medalist, and Naomi just out here killing it. Like, that's the whole world. That's literally the whole world on their back.
I have no idea how many medals Miss Biles has at this point. She has been killing it since she entered the sport.
She really has.
And I would just have to say that I stand with the Powerpuff Girls. The Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, that is so cute.
Yeah, there's a really cute picture that an illustration they made of Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka in Powerpuff Girl style. And they tweeted out, giving Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka their flowers for speaking up and protecting their mental and physical health. Thank you for inspiring us, not just by advancing your sports, but also showing your human side. And we love you all for it. And I think that's what our generation is honestly about, rebelling to say, hey, I'm gonna think about my mental health so I don't end up dying of some kind of physical thing or mental thing because I didn't take care of myself when I needed to. I think, yeah, just a lot of us put ourselves first. And I think, us putting out an episode 2 months later than expected is also us taking care of ourselves.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main thing about it. I always say, like, I've never been to an AA meeting, but like they always say, like, the first step is admitting it to yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like the first step is being like, hey, something is wrong here. I'm not too sure what it is, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
not feeling good. I'm gonna step back. And unfortunately, being an athlete, Olympian, you have to fight against that. Like, no, it means, like, Olympian means to not step back. You keep moving forward, and you keep pushing back whatever mental thing you got going on, and replace it with the game. And like,
Yeah,
no,
and use
that's
the
the
game
thing.
to cope. Like we saw it with Sha'Carri Richardson, how she got kicked out of the Olympics because she, yes, she smoked marijuana to cope with the fact that her birth mother was recently died, and she learned about this news through a reporter asking her about it. She didn't even know. So like, I smoke weed to cope with a lot of fucking shit. I smoked weed to deal with the death of a lot of people that I have lost over the few years. And in some ways it's helpful, in some ways it might be harmful, but to say that it helped me become a runner, definitely not.
I mean, self-medicating is, I think it all depends on, like, to what extent, to what level are you doing it. Like, because some people, they can't live without it. Like, it has to be a thing. Like, some people have to smoke to eat. Some people have to smoke to even just function in the world. And like, I don't know. I just think, in just like vitamins, only take 2 pills. Only do a blunt. I mean, I don't know, whatever fits you. But if you're like smoking a pound, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. That's none of
As
my
long as you
business.
could afford your addiction, whatever. And it's not physically harming you, do your thing, shorty. That's all I have to say.
Right. That's the point. That's the point there. As long as it's not like
If
harming you
there's
in any
yeah, if
way.
there's no physical or mental downfalls to what you are doing, then I say go for it. If it helps you, it helps.
Right. And then here I am saying, whatever works with you, right? Because I have, like, empathy. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
understand, I'm not going through the same thing you're going through. So I'm not gonna talk shit. You know what I'm saying? Unlike Mr. Novak Joker. What is it? Djokovic?
Yes. White man waiting. Golly.
Right. So this is a white tennis player.
Do
Who
we have the? Do we even have the? If you hear once you hear this quote, we won't have to say he's a white man. It's fairly obvious.
So he says, pressure is a privilege. Without pressure, there's no professional sport. If you are aiming to be at the top of the game, you better start learning how to deal with pressure and not to cope with those moments. Did I mess that up? Whatever. Y'all get that point where he said, pressure is a privilege. If you're aiming to be at the top of the game, you better start learning how to deal with pressure. Now, some articles are saying that his words were twisted up, this, that, and whatever, but his actions was speaking way louder than the words that came out of his mouth.
And for those who are not watching us on YouTube, my eye has been twitching the entire time Vaughn has been reading that quote because I know what this white man does.
Because,
and he has a flat out temper tantrum on the court.
Throwing his racket, stomping his feet, risking his partner, because this was at a doubles tournament. I mean, I don't play tennis, but whatever, doubles, and putting his partner in jeopardy of not winning the silver medal. Whatever the case is, selfish behavior, chaotic behavior, childish behavior, and have the nerve to want to talk about pressure. Now, look, it's allegedly that he could be talking about Simone, but like, let's be real. He's talking about Simone. Like, who else would he be talking about? And then to have the nerve to walk off, fling your racket, withdrawing, bronze, sorry, it was bronze, and putting teammate Nina, sorry, Nina, can't pronounce your name, girl. Your
last name.
Yeah.
Volkovic. Where are they from? What country is this? Why am I? I'm not being xenophobic to Europeans. Don't worry, guys. I'm half European, unfortunately.
It's just really ignorant. I might be like 5%. But it's just
Serbian. Serbian.
And look, I'm not taking it away from him as being an athlete, because tennis is a very independent sport, just like gymnastics in a way.
But not only, sorry to interrupt you, I just finished reading this. Not only did Novak have this temper tantrum, he then withdrawed from the mixed doubles bronze medal match, and now Nina had no chance of playing because he withdrew. He did exactly what he said, that you need to learn how to cope with those movements, and he didn't cope, and then he said, I quit.
Right. So where was he coping? Where Simone, she backed away. She told her coach, she told her team, like, look, guys, my mind and my body isn't linking up. I'm backing up. They did freak out, but honestly, she did something that was so selfless. Although it was about her, like, you know, taking care of herself, this gave the opportunity for us to know about other gymnasts, for them to get a chance to win other medals. Do I know their names? No, but we could look them up and they're there. You know what I mean? We could,
there's an Asian American girl that's killing it. I know. Let me look it up on TikTok.
Because all I've ever known was Simone. And where's Gabby at? You know what I mean?
Gabby been retired.
Where's her little Dougie? Her little
Sunny Lee. Oh, she did all of this. All of it. It was
a hot mess.
I don't know what was happening. Sunny Lee. She wins all rounds for gold medal. Good for you, girl.
Yes. And that's what it's about.
Like, here for our Asian Americans.
Had her back. Simone trusted her team. You know, she trusted herself. And just when we thought she was out for the count, Shorty confirmed today that she'll be back tomorrow on the balance beams. On the beams.
Killing it. Yeah, because the real physical issue she was also dealing with is she recently broke her ankle, for what I remember, or did something to her ankle. So it's not only that she was dealing with mental pressures and just not feeling herself, she also was dealing with physical pain. And it's crazy that we're like, well, tough it out. And even dumbass politicians from Texas have the nerve to put their 2 cents in when they know they're not physically fit at all. And I recently
can't even do the monkey bars.
Oh God, no. I recently saw a tweet of like the Olympics would be so fun if it was like the Hunger Games and you just get called to be a part of teams. And you're just like, you are now on the swimming Olympics team. Get ready.
I mean, at least, you know, I haven't picked up my jump rope, you know. I did last week, but, you know, like, I'd be sick. Swimming or any other sport, that would be nice, though. That would be dope if, like, that was like the new Olympics where it's like
Hunger Games.
But people talking shit where they don't have no right to talk shit.
Oh, girl, I'm not even ready for this.
Talk about the baby.
The baby is the biggest fucking baby.
This is my thing. I hate when this happens, because it happened to me with what's his name? The entanglement dude with Jada. What was his name? I forgot.
August Alsina.
Yeah, August Alsina. I was rooting for him. We'll talk about that story another day, but he put a bad taste in my mouth. I can't even think of anything recently besides the baby. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Like, I love
the Tyra.
I love his little 5'4" self. I'm a sucker for good skin, but had the nerve. At what festival was it? Rolling Loud.
That's the last festival that nigga got play.
Right. That's the last festival. To have them to do what the rappers would call a call and response at this festival and say this quote, if you didn't show up today with HIV/AIDS, they didn't put the curse words in here, I don't think, but if you didn't show up today with HIV/AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2 or 3 weeks, put your cell phone light in the air. Ladies, if you, oh, I hate that word. Ew, pussy. Ew. I'm gonna say vagina. If your vagina smell like water, put your cell phone light in the air. Fellas, if you ain't sucking a nigga dick in the parking lot, I mean, it's so unnecessary. I can't even. Like, why do you care about somebody sucking dick in the parking lot? That's their business. You know what I'm saying? It's just
It just hurts. It hurts.
It hurts. And then go ahead.
It's just annoying that it has to be another nigga doing this shit. Like, come on. Why you gotta do this shit? You got all this shit against you. Why you gotta do this to yourself? Why you gotta live with your ignorance? Ignorance is not bliss, my nigga. You are dumb. That's it.
Where is this coming from? And then even if you watch the video,
he's walking off stage. It's not even. It doesn't even make sense.
He's turning his back because he knows what he's saying is reckless, and then the people aren't even cheering. They're like, "What?"
Yeah, they're like, "What did he say?"
Like, you hear people disgusted, and like, my whole thing is like, so yeah, just why at this time. In this period, right? Which it better this period better be in the history books. I swear to you, if my kids aren't learning about this, I'm gonna be raising hell up in that school because 2020 to 2021 and probably 2025, who knows? Is gonna be shit. But I'm saying like this has been a time period where we have no tolerance for racism, for homophobia. For what was the other one you just said? Xenophobia.
Yeah.
Like all that we don't have the tolerance. It's time to speak up. So it's like say if you see something, say something. Where everyone is saying something. Unfortunately, there are some people who are saying something that like aren't making sense.
And then it's more niggas backing him up. And that's the shit that's getting me tight. But it's honestly niggas I expected, like Charlamagne the God being a dumbass. And T.I. being a bigger dumbass that just happens to have a thesaurus.
Just happens to have.
That's it. That's all he is.
T.I.
word a day calendar.
He did go on live, and I don't know if he thought there was gonna be some type of, I don't know, we were gonna feel better about what he's saying because he went on live with a well-known social media gay man, Zoe. I think he lives in Atlanta. He's popular to some. You can look him up, but he is, open out, and he mentioned that like the baby wasn't he didn't have any intention to be disrespectful, that it was a call and response. Compared it to, oh, if you're from LA, put your hands up in the air. Like, what?
I tell my students this all the time. Intention is different than impact. If you made an impact, you need to apologize. He chose not to. He chose to dig his grave even deeper. And then some people decided to dig graves right next to him because apparently we want a fucking grave, like just a full ass cemetery of fucking canceled niggas. And fucking Tory Lanez is, it is called the Tory Lanez. That's what it is. That's what it is.
He brought this nigga out. So of course all the toxicity, I could just see them in the room just talking about a whole bunch of toxic shit, getting high. Let's go on there, nigga. Fuck that bitch that you shot, nigga. We gonna get up on there, nigga. Like, it just creeps me out. I forgot he brought him on stage.
And to go back to Charlamagne the God, you sent me something on Instagram where the Breakfast Club talked about, the baby's comments. and Charlemagne being his dumbass, thinking that he is, king of the blacks and has a lot to say, and we have to listen to his bullshit. He goes on to say, "Oh, all of these festivals are, canceling the baby as they should because he's an idiot, and there's other better artists out there that are replacing him at all of these festivals." He goes on to say that, oh, now it's an issue when the rap community talks about the LGBTQ community, but it's not an issue when we talk about quote unquote ourselves, being that we talk about gang violence or talk down to women in rap, and that's not an issue. But when we talk about queer folks, it is.
And I mean, he did bring up a valuable question, but I almost wonder if the question was kind of what's the word? When you're like still being an asshole, condescending. There we go.
Yes.
I don't know if the question was condescending, like who's gonna be the one to change? Who's gonna be the one to change the script or something like that? I'm like,
there's one thing to say, like, yeah, we never check for morals. Maybe that's what he's saying. Or maybe there's another thing that he's saying. And he's saying that Black and brown folks are not a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Many folks identify as that if you're Black. Mind you, the majority of the folks I hang out with are Black and queer, but there's so many Black and queer people out there. Those intersections overlap constantly. And to talk about, the king, Little Nas X, I love him. And shout out to my boy Gio. I went to school with Gio since middle school through high school, and he was in Lil Nas X's video. He was in the shower scene dancing right next to him. Right side.
But I'm proud of Lil Nas X too, because I mean, first off, he's Black, a Black male, and
he's
now
so cute too.
He has good skin. I'm a sucker for good skin.
Yeah,
like dang. I wish you could try daddy. But I think his message, I mean, this is the thing, right? He's being an artist. This whole thing of like he's forcing it on people, or he's what Boosie called himself, speaking on it, talking about forcing this gay stuff on the artists, forcing it on the kids. In 10 years, none of the kids are going to be straight. It's sad. God is doing backflips right now. First off, no one's forcing anything. And
Boosie can't say shit. He fucking hired a fucking sex worker for his like 12-year-old son. Like, he is a disgusting man.
I think he's like the example of the culture that like the next generation is trying to fight against. Rebellion.
When you open up a dictionary to toxic masculinity, you will see an image of Boosie. There. And maybe T.I. right next to him, because the dumbass T.I. had the nerve to say that if Little Nas X can spit what he's spitting, then DaBaby can say what he wants to say. Now, I just want to make it clear that living your life as a gay person and homophobia are not, two sides of opposite coin. I mean, like two opposite sides of a coin here. Like, they're not. Yeah. One is very hateful. One is just being.
Right.
One is an active thing you're doing. You are actively being hateful. And the other one is just being. It's so hard for folks to understand that being gay is just being. There's no action. You don't have to do anything to make it a thing. It's just being.
It's just being. And it's something that like we just need to accept. Like I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it just reminds me of how hard it was or is for Black people to like let everyone else know that we're human. Like gay people are human too. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no difference here. We all bleed. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Although
And
there
a
are
part of our community. We're all a
right,
part. As Black folks, we're a part of the same community, whether being, athletes with mental health issues that we're dealing with, gay rappers, gay Black rappers, or authors. We're doing it all, but we're all
right.
dealing in different ways.
And at some point in time, you need to look at the situation and try to find a release. Try to find something to outpour your creativeness to let people know. I think that's what Lil Nas X is doing. I don't think that's what the baby was doing, to be honest. But also, it reminds me of Tank Tariana Tank Ball. She's a part of Tank and the Bangers. I got the privilege to go to one of her I don't think it was a performance, but it was really like a poetry reading event. And she has the poem book called Vulnerable as Fuck. And to me, I felt like this was such a good like closure book, like as far as like going through this turmoil, like of it was in terms of a relationship specifically. But I feel like you can really kind of, that's what like I feel like that's what poetry is about. You can like kind of insert yourself into it, right? You can kind of visualize things to relate to it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good, I felt like it was a good release book. Like, she was going through a tough relationship, dealing with herself, her image, her self-worth, and she has found a way to share it with us in such a creative way. I legit thought I was at a concert. I love the way she like really changed, like she changes her voice, like she becomes a different character, like she's herself, but like she becomes different parts of herself. But it's a really good poetry book. I don't know if she is still on tour with the book, but she is going to be on tour soon, with her band Tank and the Bangers. So give her a listen. Along with our
So beautiful. Not like that is a reason to read her book, but she's gorgeous.
she gets so creative with her style
I
and like
know her hair is amazing.
it's
I'm
crazy.
like this bitch makes me want to grow up my hair so I can fucking do some shit.
Oh,
Ah, oh, I watched their tiny desk. That's how I knew about them. That's
yes,
how I know
there
that.
we
That's
go.
what I was like. Her face looks hella familiar. This name sounds hella familiar, but when I just saw Tank in the Vegas, now I see it. Now I know. All right,
There
I'm hip.
we
I'm hip.
go.
I'm hip. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hip. I'm hip. I know what's going on. I'm hip to the music. Speaking of music, you were recently in a music video, weren't you, girl?
Yeah, it was the music video. Yeah, I got another privilege to be in your favorite Roxbury native artist, Oompa. Um, she has a video out. Well, it's not out yet, but it was a music video for the song LeBron, and it was really dope to be around so many amazing people. A community of queer folks as well. A community of hood folks too. You know what I mean? Just being on MLK Boulevard, just I don't know, just not taking over, but like using our resources, like using the city for what we
Using our
have.
community, the place we were raised and like lived in and
Right,
given
right,
so much to. I mean, Oompa
right.
has given so much to this community through her music. So like
Definitely.
it's only right that she gets to, shoot her music videos in the space she
Exactly.
grew up. Who did the visuals for it? What I saw OJ
Oh
Slaughter
yeah.
was a part, right? I think they
OJ and there's her team. Oh my goodness, I should have had this prepared. What the heck?
yeah, all of Oompa's
Hold
team
on.
would be dope.
All of Oompa's team. It's ninth. What was it? It was ninth something. Oh my gosh. I
We
should
can
have
also
it.
put it in the show notes too. We'll make sure we put it in there. But I know that for sure OJ Slaughter was in the mix as per usual there, being a beast and
Yeah,
showing
being a
in the fucking ICA being the fucking beast that they are.
For real. Hold on. I got you. We're almost there. Okay, Yaz is one of them. He's a photographer. Ninth Planet Productions. And so that's Yaz, Colin, Jonathan, and Oompa. I think so. Colin is the editor. Yaz and Colin were like, yo, honestly, I've never been a part of a music video. The only time that I really got to see behind the scenes was, what was it, on MTV or BET?
Behind the video. Yeah, making the video.
Behind the video. I used to live for those episodes, especially with the BK one, Girlfriends. But anyways, it takes so much work. Like, you really have to have the vision ahead of time, obviously, to like set people up.
And you were playing such a character. Like, when did you become an actor?
Yeah, I was Anna. Literally, Oompa put it on Facebook and was like, "Oh, I need a Nana." And I was like, "Do you need like an actual old person?" Or and she's like, "Oh, perfect." And I was like, "Okay, word." Gave me like just an idea that Fresh Prince.
Oh yeah.
The Fresh Prince there. Yeah, the mom at the beginning. Yeah. She was like, "Yeah,
you moving
with this type of vibe."
together.
I just threw some things on. It was just so dope. And so look out for me. Look out for Nana. I'll be in there. And OJ was like a freaking spy, like just slipping in there, taking pictures. Like, that was actually technically their day off. So
of course it was.
Always gonna be working, always got the camera in their hand. So it was a really dope experience. I don't know when the video is gonna come out, but when it does, Hoodgrown definitely is gonna share it.
Yeah, for sure. And what's this film festival?
Oh yeah, so still talking about Oompa, she has if y'all want to see what type of work or get familiar on like what type of work, ninth
Planet?
Yes. No, yeah, Ninth Planet Productions.
There we go.
Ninth Planet Productions. If you want to see what type of quality work and vibes that they do, you can watch the video that's out now called Go by Oompa. And it looks like that video won some type of award or is up for nomination.
The semi-finalist in the New York International Film Awards.
Yeah,
fancy for a music video. It's kind of wild because none of the rest are music videos, so that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So clearly they know how to do a narrative. All right.
I'm gonna shoot shit up, man.
Yeah. Well, it's been good chatting with you, and it's been a good start to August, I hope. We're only 2 days in.
There's some rumors that we might go back inside.
Yeah.
Get ready for that.
Yeah.
Vax up, people.
Yeah, for sure. Get your vaccine if you haven't yet. We'll get back to you all in September, and we hope for sure that we might get you a White Wall review before then. We'll see. We might review a show. We'll see. But have a good night, shorty.
Peace.